Long ago, in the grand kingdom of Mirath, there lived a powerful king named Adiran. He had everything a man could desire: golden palaces, mighty armies, endless lands, and loyal servants. Yet, despite all his wealth and power, King Adiran was never happy. The smallest inconvenience angered him. Failures made him bitter, and even the grandest celebrations brought him no joy. His people whispered that their king's heart was made of stone. One afternoon, as the king sat restlessly in his palace garden, an old traveler arrived at the gates. The traveler was frail, dressed in simple robes, but his eyes sparkled with wisdom. He requested an audience with the king, claiming he had brought a gift that could change Adiran's life forever. Out of curiosity, the king agreed to meet him. The traveler approached and carefully presented a small golden box. "Inside this box," the traveler said softly, "is the secret to eternal happiness." The king's eyes lit up with desperate hope. Without a second thought, he snatched the box from the traveler's hands and opened it. But inside, there was nothing. The box was completely empty. The king's face darkened with fury. "How dare you mock me?" he roared. "Do you take me for a fool?" The traveler remained calm, his voice steady. "It is no trick, my king. The box is empty because happiness cannot be stored. It is not something you find or keep. It is something you must create, even when life gives you nothing." The king's pride would not let him believe such words. In his rage, he cursed the traveler and ordered him to leave the kingdom immediately. As the traveler walked away, he whispered, "You will soon understand." The very next morning, something strange happened. When the king awoke and looked in the mirror, he found that his face was frozen in a deep, heavy frown. No matter what he tried, forcing a smile, laughing, shouting, his face would not change. His royal doctors could not cure him. Magicians, priests, scholars, none had a solution. It seemed the king was cursed to wear a permanent mask of sadness. Desperate, the king filled his palace with jesters, music, and banquets. He bought the finest jewels, the rarest animals, and the most beautiful silks. Yet, not even the most delightful things could stir a smile on his face. The days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and months into years. Slowly, the people of Mirath began to suffer under his cold rule. The kingdom grew silent. Friends abandoned him. His golden palace felt like a lonely prison. One quiet morning, as King Adiran sat alone in his garden, a little girl named Lyra wandered to the palace gates. She was poor, wearing tattered clothes, but her eyes were bright with curiosity. She approached the king without fear and asked him gently, "Why do you look so sad?" The king, tired and broken, answered honestly, "Because I am cursed. I can never be happy." Lyra tilted her head thoughtfully. "My mother always says, when you cannot find happiness, you must give it to others. It will come back to you somehow." The king almost laughed, but something in her innocent words struck him. He had tried everything: pleasure, luxury, entertainment, but he had never tried making others happy. With nothing left to lose, the king decided to try. The next day, he ordered his servants to distribute food to the poor. He commanded that homes be built for the homeless, and he invited street performers to the palace to entertain the people for free. He opened his gardens to children, built schools for villagers, and ensured that no one in his kingdom went to sleep hungry. At first, the king felt nothing. His face remained stiff. But as days passed, he began to notice something. His heart, which had once felt heavy like stone, started to feel lighter. For the first time in years, he noticed the beauty of music, the warmth of a child's laughter, the joy in a mother's thankful eyes. One morning, as he watched Lyra play with other children in his garden, something miraculous happened. He felt his lips curve upwards. Startled, he touched his face and realized he was smiling. The curse had been broken, not because he had found happiness, but because he had created it. The memory of the old traveler returned to him, and the king finally understood. Happiness was never something he could trap in a box. It was not something the world could hand him. Happiness was something he had to plant, to grow, to give, especially in the emptiest moments. From that day forward, King Adiran became known as the Smiling King, not because his life was free of problems, but because he had learned the deepest secret of all. Happiness is not found, it is made. Moral of the story: happiness does not depend on what you have. It depends on what you give, what you create, and how you choose to see life. Try to be happy in every situation, not by waiting for happiness to come, but by spreading it to others. It will always find its way back to you. Let's learn from the story. One kingdom, meaning a country or area ruled by a king or queen. Example: the grand kingdom of Mirath was filled with golden palaces and mighty armies. Too powerful, meaning having great strength, influence, or control. Example: King Adiran was a powerful man, yet his heart was never satisfied. 3. Inconvenience, meaning a small problem or difficulty that causes discomfort. Example: the smallest inconvenience angered him, even though he had everything else. 4. Traveler, meaning a person who is traveling from one place to another, often with a purpose or mission. Example: an old traveler arrived at the gates bringing a gift for the king. 5. Audience, meaning a formal meeting with someone important, like a king. Example: the traveler requested an audience with the king to deliver his message. 6. Curiosity, meaning a strong desire to know or learn something. Example: out of curiosity, the king agreed to meet the traveler.